there's any biblical support going on your knees to propose to a woman?
Say it again.
Is there any biblical support for a man to go on his knees to propose to a woman?
For a guy, that's stupid.
A man, for a man to propose.
That's completely stupid.
I came across this question by one of the youths. Someone asked me this question. I couldn't actually. I have actually answered that.
A man should never kneel before a woman. A man should never kneel before a woman. You don't try that nonsense. I'll slap you up, kick out. Don't try that nonsense. You don't kneel before a woman. You are the head of the woman. You don't kneel before a woman. You don't do that. That's completely unacceptable. And the moment you kneel, she will control your life. You've given your loyalty to her. It's your right to protect the woman. She is the one that must kneel for you to engage her. Before you engage your wife, she must kneel that I am here submissive to you. Do you know what kneeling means? Submissiveness. That's the place of the woman. The man is the king. The man should stand as a man. And the woman must kneel, then you put the ring. Don't get me angry now. Don't get me angry. Don't do that.
Charlie, that's not Earth, right?
Dude, that's completely flat. That's 100% flat,
That's
dude.
what I mean. That's what I'm saying. That can't be real, right? That's not.
We're looking at it, dude. The Earth is flat.
Charlie,
It's
the
flat.
Earth can't actually be flat, right?
There's the glass dome, dude. Oh my God, dude.
Oh my. This can't be real.
I need to sit down.
This can't.
We need to take this to the grave. We cannot tell anybody. This changes literally this changes everything.
No, I know. We can never tell. We can never tell.
I might actually puke. Get back. I'm gonna puke. Stay back.
The Earth is flat, Charlie.
I know.
I can go to the eyes. I know.
As you surf the internet, as you watch videos or check your social feed, the algorithms will be monitoring. The algorithm tracks your eye movements, your blood pressure, your brain activity, and tells you who you are. Now imagine the situation in 10 or 20 years when an algorithm can tell any teenager exactly where he or she is on the gay-straight spectrum.
Violence. I think that, it's more or less because...
What did he just say?
Can tell any teenager exactly where he or she is on the gay-straight spectrum.
What the fuck just happened?
Interview's over. Shut it off. No, shut it off.
Get the fuck out of here, Daryl.
I am Marshall's publicist, and I'm telling you to pull a fucking plug right now.
This is gold. I'm not cutting this interview off. This is the best interview we've ever done.
It's about a student.
الإسرائيليين لا يقاتلون ضد فلسطين فقط، يقاتلون ضد الأمة العربية. هذا قتال الوجود وليس قتال حدود. وهم ينتظرون اليوم الذي يحل فيه المشكل الفلسطيني لكي يتفرغوا للهجوم على بقية الشعوب العربية. الخندق الفلسطيني يقاوم نيابة عنكم. يجب دعمه وحشد كل إمكانيات وراء الخندق الفلسطيني. إذا سقط هذا الخط ستتقدم القوات الإسرائيلية إلى البلاد العربية ومحيط الخليج. يريدون إقامة إمبراطورية الإسرائيلية فوق الأرض العربية. ما تسمعوا حكاية الكلام مسيرة السلام، خداع، تدجيل على الجماهير. أي مسيرة سلام؟ مسيرة دمار ومذابح في لبنان، في سوريا، في فلسطين، في تونس، في ليبيا. الآن يدفن الفلسطينيون أحياء وهم أحياء في فلسطين اليوم. هذه فرضها الانحطاط وضعف العزيمة العربية. هذا الجيل، جيل الغرب، إلى الغرب الآن يريد تدمير الحدود وإقامة الوحدة وإقامة القوة ومواجهة التحدي بالتحدي وتحرير فلسطين. هذا تحدي، أمة تتحدى فيكم، يجب أنكم تتحدوا هذه الأمة. لماذا؟ هل أنتم جبناء؟ ما عندكمش إمكانيات؟ أمة أمريكية تتحدى فيكم، يجب أن تتحداها، مش تطاطوا الرأس أمامها. ما تسمعوش أي كلام. يا وحدة يا تصبحوا زي الهنود الحمر، تسمعوا الهنود الحمر وإلى أمام بحر الثمن.
What is the God frequency?
63. 9, 6, that's 18. You can say this 9. So it's pretty much 30 plus 3 plus 2. 6 plus 9 plus 2. 18. You can do 64. It's 2 plus 9 plus 16 for the same as 9.
Nominations of people. And why would they do a thing like that? Well, sometimes these artists are worth more dead than alive. Sounds very brutal and cruel, which it is. But sometimes when their careers are starting to go downhill, the record company that are controlled by the same dark forces that we were talking about before sees it as just cold business. If somebody dies, they can be turned into a legend. And the sales of these records that was going downhill would suddenly, boom, you have all these in memoriam or collector's items and so on, films, remakes of films and something like that follows the death of these people. So it's nothing personal, as they say, just business. And one of them, I mean, there's several that have been taken out. Bob Marley is one we mentioned. John Lennon is another one that was taken out.
We know what's next. We're going to have another major coronavirus pandemic before the end of this decade, before 2030. We're going to have zoonotic influenza illness. We're going to have arboviruses, mosquito-transmitted viruses, because of that combination of climate change. We're seeing that now on the Gulf Coast. So, you know, put your tray tables in the upright position and your seats forward and your seatbelts on, because this is unfortunately a new wave of pandemics is going to be upon us because of that combination of 21st century forces of climate change and urbanization and human migrations. Here's what we need. We need to have that recognition that COVID-19 unfortunately could be just a warm-up act, that there are far worse pandemics that could be upon us. So now's our time to be building capacity to fight it, ramping up our ability to make vaccines, enabling the virologists to do the surveillance. But unfortunately, what you're starting to see now is this revisionist history that wants to blame the virologists for creating the pandemic. So instead of containing the viruses, we're containing the virologists, and that's going to have tragic consequences.
So a couple years ago when Kanye was going on his rant, Kanye told us that Corey Gamble was a plant and he was first working for Diddy. And I can never skip the fact that Corey Gamble was at Kim Porter's house when she passed away. They were not even together during this time. And then Kanye said Corey Gamble went to Justin Bieber to be his tour manager after working for Diddy. We all know the rumors about Justin Bieber and Diddy. I don't even have to get into that. But it's super weird that you end up from Diddy to Justin Bieber. And then he explained this is when Corey Gamble got with Kris Jenner. Kanye even listed the names of people who had to do whatever they were told, naming Jay-Z and Beyonce. He also named Meek Mills and Lil Boosie, and he said the reason that these people have to listen to whatever they're told and pull on Kanye's coattail while he was outing everything so publicly is because they unalived people. He even posted the text messages on his Instagram to Diddy. Didn't like our combo, I'm selling these teas. And at the end he said, come do something illegal to me, please. Diddy actually texted back kind of crazy saying, send me an address. Let's stop playing these internet games and don't feel threatened. You'll be fine. Just love. And during all of these rants, he was talking about people who got offed in the industry like Michael Jackson, Prince, and even Aaron Carter. And the rumor being spread is Aaron Carter was about to out everything happening in Hollywood. And weirdly enough, before Aaron Carter passed away, he actually said on Twitter, yo Kanye, let's talk man to man.
So I have a friend who knows and met Diddy right before all this chaos broke out. And what I know about his connection to all of these people is important on a global scale. I have to be very careful with what I say here because if I shared everything I know about this, most people just would not be able to grasp, and I don't want to get my account removed. So all major celebrities, if you look it up, have some kind of connection to a major alcohol brand. Well, why alcohol? Because alcohol historically has been used to extract the soul essence out of plants, living things, including yourself. Now, before Diddy had his alcohol brand, he was signed to one of the largest record labels, Atlantic. Atlantic is owned by Warner Bros., which is owned by the two largest investment funds, BlackRock and Vanguard. Also own all major record labels, all major beverage and food companies, and all of these companies, your social media, what you see, what you don't see. If you're still not understanding the point of what I'm saying here, there's a big club and you're not in it. And the way you get in this club is not what you think. It's not by selling your own SOUL. It's by making an energetic deal to exploit the masses on a large scale in exchange for money, wealth, power, and bypassing karmic law. Celebrities promote darkness, alcohol, other things that you take, violence, casual sex. In their music, in the things that they do, when they do it publicly, they are escaping karmic debt. As in the public eye, if you think the way of darkness is light, then the light is given to the false prophets. Don't forget, the people who own these musicians and celebrities are also the same people who own the largest alcohol brands.
Who and what is the Committee of 300? Well, I've dealt with that. I've told you this is a supranational body that knows no boundaries, respects the laws of no countries. The first time that they were publicly announced was by a German socialist by the name of Walter Rathenau. Now, I'll give you some background of Walter Rathenau. He was the financial advisor to the Kaiser of Germany, and he was also the financial advisor to the Rothschilds, the French family Rothschild. So he must have known what he's talking about. He made an astonishing statement in 1934. He said, there is a committee of 300 men that rule the world. They are known only to each other, and nothing happens without their consent. The goals then, very simply stated, are to make the world over into a one world, new world order, dictatorship, controlled utterly and completely by this committee of 300. They do it by dint and by virtue of their fantastic wealth and the fact that they control thousands of the top banking institutions, the political organizations, insurance companies, but their strongest arm is called the Club of Rome. Now, when I first heard of the Club of Rome in 1969, I immediately began my investigation.
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 What happened to a gay couple in Palestine, sir?
What?
What would happen to a gay couple in Gaza?
Executed according to Islamic law. Islam doesn't endorse gayism. Islam doesn't endorse homosexuality. Just like Canada doesn't endorse a lot of things.
So would you like to see Sharia law in Canada replace Canadian law?
At some point it will. You know, because we have families, we are making babies. You're not. Your population is going down the slump, right? And by 2060, according to Pew Research Institute, your research, by 2060, Muslims will be the biggest religious group the world over. What are you going to do then? Actually, to oppose Sharia is even then?
Well, you know what? I'm very appreciative of the honesty. We don't usually get that.
One day we can have a Muslim majority nation here in Canada. Right in your face.
These are the only two countries in the world that voted against making food a human right. And the countries are Israel and the United States. Except for those two and the few absent countries, the whole world voted in favor of this vote in 2021.
On with these religious fanatics. They were crazy. Well, you would think they were crazy if you didn't understand their culture and their religion. See, that's just the thing. They were worshippers of idols. And they took things to extremes. They painted their bodies. They wore these ridiculous costumes. They chanted, they danced, they made sacrifices to their idols. They had built these enormous temples to worship their idols in. It seemed like their entire existence climaxed into this one scenario, this one over-the-top act of worship. You don't really relate, do you? Let's try it again. I was watching TV the other day, and this show comes on with these religious fanatics. They were crazy. See, that's just the thing. They were worshippers of idols. And they took things to extremes. They painted their bodies. They wore these ridiculous costumes. They chanted, they danced, they made sacrifices to their idols. They had built these enormous temples to worship their idols in. It seemed like their entire existence climaxed into this one scenario, this one over-the-top act of worship. Idol worship. It's not just about golden calves anymore.
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
It's the black people. I had settlement with Sean, okay? And he belongs to that agenda. That's why he's so famous. They land all the contracts. It's these attorneys, which are Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes. I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a sex slave, okay? For them, that's what I was. That's all right? I caught herpes, and I came back and I sued him for the herpes and won. But Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys, okay? And Christopher Leon's here was my attorney. They asked me to turn in that, which was the video recording, and I did so. They gave it back to me accidentally, and it's possible, I threw everything out, it's possible I can produce a copy. Mark Garagos used to be Michael Jackson's attorney.
Yeah, out in Los Angeles.
Yeah. He had he drawed Michael.
See this? After Pope Francis openly defied the word of God, look what happened to his representative statue.
It wasn't just that the lightning bolt struck the statue. Now that's a halo around the head. What does a halo symbolize? It symbolizes holiness, the holiness of the person around whom is the halo. Now this is what the lightning did. The lightning bolt removed the halo from the statue. It removed the sign of holiness on the statue that points to Pope Francis. I want you to look at the hand of the statue before the striking of the lightning bolt. The hand is holding the keys, as in the keys of Peter. The lightning bolt removed the keys. The keys are a sign of authority, saying authority is gone.
Amen. Hit subscribe or follow it.
The architecture of the old world wasn't just about beauty, wasn't just about uplifting and inspiring. It was all built with purpose, all part of a connected, free energy grid from the ether above. It is why so much of our infrastructure mimics it today. It is why they worked so hard to destroy parts of the old world, especially the antennas, the key components to the free energy network. This was technology that was here for centuries, long before Tesla even proposed it. And if you didn't disable this technology and remove it piece by piece, you risk parts of the old technology accidentally activating, just like you see happening in this temple in Cambodia. I believe effects like this, in addition to the airships, are why you see so much of the skies whited out. We could have free and limitless energy, and it's in the sky all around us. You can even do a test yourself. Attach a copper wire to the end of a drone and the other end to a voltmeter. Fly the drone up. The higher you go, the higher up the voltmeter will start ticking. Combine that with mercury resonators and those balls, and you have the basics of that free energy network. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
If you had your higher sensory perception turned on all the way up to the 15th dimension,
We could understand that.
this is what we look like. Okay? Now, most systems that teach you about the auric field and all of that will take you up to about, let's see, D1, 2, 3. They take you up to the 7th level. They'll show you the 7th level of the aura. They usually don't show you what's beyond there. Not a lot of people know what's beyond that, but some people do. The guardians do.
I'll show you an example at the end of this video of why I have my Tibetan song bowl ready and waiting to go for my baby daughter when she's born. There is much about sound, frequency healing, cymatics, and even the building tools we use to build some of these old world magnificent structures. But one thing the old world knew is the power of sound and cymatics in our own bodies. Like I said before, the old world was built like a massive computer, and we were part of that. To understand this universe, you must understand frequency and vibrations. Why do you think they worked so hard to remove all the bells from the old world? Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, here's an example of what frequency and vibrations can do to our bodies. Turn up the sound and listen with your headphones.
Do not fly on 11 day. Do not fly on the 29th of the month. You've seen what happened. Not one, not two, not three, but five. 5 plane crashes. January 29th, 3 plane accidents in the world. And yesterday, on the first day of the snake, 2025, January 29th, we had a very serious plane accident in Washington, D.C., where over 60 people on American's airline died in midair in takeoff because they collided with a helicopter.
You will never catch me on a Boeing airplane ever again. Let me tell you why. This is John Barnett. He worked at Boeing for 32 years, but after retiring in 2017, he became their biggest whistleblower, a threat to their multi-billion-dollar company, and he says they tried to ruin his life. He was also in a legal battle with Boeing. Last week, he was giving testimony in his case, but on the last day, he didn't show up. He was found in his car in the hotel parking lot, deceased from a self-inflicted wound. This is just the tip of the iceberg. In 2018 and 2019, 2 Boeings crashed minutes after takeoff. Everyone on board was killed. 346 people, both the result of faulty systems. Boeing was almost criminally charged, but the feds gave them a deal, $2.5 billion to settle. Boeing said, okay, we'll take safety concerns seriously, but then a door flies off a brand new Boeing in January of this year. Fortunately, 2 people missed their flight or they might have been sucked out of the plane. 4 key bolts securing the door were not properly fitted. A leaked video shows Boeing employees being asked if they would ride on the planes that they're literally building, and 10 out of the 15 said no. The DOJ is investigating again. The FAA did audits of their facilities. Boeing failed 33 of the 89 times. This is exactly what John Barnett was warning us about before he unalived himself.
One of the things that I learned from whistleblowers from the cabal itself is that they have to work within something they call the rules. And this is very, very important. The rules state that they have to tell us what they're doing. Therefore, if we allow it to happen, we have consented to tyranny, we have consented to enslavement. Now, if you get into the secret history of the cabal, Queen Elizabeth's royal astrologer, a man named John Dee, who is the prototype of the wizard with the long beard, the hat, and what he did was to rediscover, through these ancient documents that were in the Vatican, the technology of how to access what they considered to be spiritual beings that were useful to them, but what we would consider to be demonic or evil beings. These beings need to be accessed through a very complex set of rituals and ceremonies. You cannot just ask for them to show up. You have to follow very elaborate and specific protocols. So John Dee rediscovered the technology of how to draw the magic circles, how to say the right incantations, how to actually do black magic on a governmental level. This is what people are going to have so much trouble with once disclosure happens, is that these people actually practice black magic.
Kendrick, when he was rapping on stage, started singing peekaboo in the X. Why? Because he's trying to say Drake killed X.
80 pointers like a Kobe Dane.
Where did he do it? The 30-yard line. 30-yard line. What's the Roman numeral? Roman numerals of 30 is X, X, X. Also, he had 2 of Drake's X's plus the X on stage. Yeah. X, X, X. What was Tentacion known for? Split hair, the black dreads, the blonde dreads. Yeah. If you notice the backup dancers, did they have that? A split of black, and they also had red. Oh my god. When Kendrick opened, how did he look like rapping? He was like this. He was crouched down, just like the XXL freestyle.
The freestyle,
Yeah.
We circulate through us. Everybody must be judged.
Fear will be plentiful, death will be bountiful. I will spend none of
Everyone thought Kendrick's chain, the small A, was for A minor. No, it's not. It's for PJ Lang. Kendrick, that's his brand. Who is Drake signed under? Sony. So it's PJ Lang versus Sony, the controller. That was like a double entendre. Oh, When Kendrick was backstage after his performance, did you realize what he was wearing? He had a diamond binky, put it in his mouth, and he started dapping hands up. Like a pacifier? Yeah, like a pacifier, because like
as a baby, as a kid.
Yeah.
Oh.
Say Drake, I hate you like I'm young.
And he wore a t-shirt, keep those people away from me.
You know how in the back, when they had game over at the very end?
There was another one.
Yeah.
Wrong way or something?
Yeah.
Remember when Uncle Sam was like,
deduct one life.
deduct one life.
And then he goes into the X and then starts singing peekaboo, referencing X.
Where? This one is full of crazy stuff. My friend, all these videos you have just watched are for entertainment purposes. But some of the information that was there, it was spooky. How did you find it yourself? Good babe soul, leave your comments down below. crazy that some guys can make music just to represent their lovely friends. Anyways, good vibes. You see? Let's hear what the book tells us. 1 Corinthians 2:17. Yeah. 1 Corinthians. Where is the book of Corinthians? Here. 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians, my friend, is next to 2 Corinthians. Yeah. And is also next to which book? Romans 2:14. This is what it says. The man without the Spirit does not accept the things that comes from the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness to him, and he cannot understand them because they are spiritually discerned. The spiritual man makes judgment about all things, but he himself is not subject to any man's judgment. For who has known the mind of the Lord that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of Christ. My friends, 1 Corinthians 2:14 going down. Let's give thanks to our mighty counselor, my friend, for this part. Dear Lord, our Father, Maker, and Creator, we really thank you, dear Lord, for this time that you've reached. Thank you for the beginning, Father, and this time. Thank you, dear Lord, above all, for your wonderful child here that has been with us since the video began, Father. All glory and love belong unto you. Dear Lord, may you bless them abundantly. Forgive them their sins, Father, and intervene in their lives. As we wrap up this video, Father, may you reach them from wherever they are. Reveal your goodness, Father, and love to them so that they may glorify your name. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Till next time, child of God. Bye bye. Peace, love, and good vibes be with you. Toodles.